God says this is a moment unlike any other. This message has been placed before your eyes because heaven has chosen you to receive it, not as a coincidence, but as a divine appointment. Do not let your heart tremble with fear, for God is with you. He is the light that shines in the darkest corners. He is the whisper in the storm telling you, "You are mine." You are protected. You are safe. Right now, as your eyes move across these words, there is a stirring in the invisible realm. Angels have been sent to surround you, to form a wall of fire around you, and to shield you from everything that was meant to harm you. What you are reading is not ordinary text, it is the echo of heaven's voice sent to rescue your spirit from despair and to pull you out of the net of those who plotted against you. Michael says she is trembling in fear. The witch who has been watching you, whispering curses, and stealing what God placed in your life is no longer hidden. The very act of you opening this message breaks the power of her gaze. Heaven sees her. Heaven has marked her. All that was stolen, your peace, your opportunities, your blessings, your miracles, is already being summoned back to you. God is saying to you, "Do not fear. My child, you are in my hands. Nothing will go wrong with you. I will restore the years the locust has eaten. I will return the treasures that were buried. I will heal the wounds inflicted in secret. I will expose what was hidden." You may have felt eyes on you when no one was in the room. You may have sensed an unseen heaviness hovering, as if someone had pressed their shadow over your life. That was not your imagination. There was a force that wanted to drain your joy and quiet your destiny. But now the tables are turning. Even as you read this, the witch is trembling. She thought you would never find out. She thought her spells would keep you blind and silent. But heaven intervened. Michael, the warrior archangel, has stepped forward with his sword of light drawn, ready to sever every invisible chain. God himself has spoken, and no force in hell can overturn his decree. He is saying to you now, do not scroll past this. Stay with me here. Feel my presence moving through these words like fire, like oil, like wind. You are safe. You are protected. No harm will come near your dwelling. The trap they set for you is now the trap that closes upon them. The curse they spoke is now dissolving. The darkness they projected is now retreating before the brightness of my light. Every time you doubted yourself, every time you felt like giving up, heaven wrote it down. None of your tears went unnoticed. The witch thought she had hidden your miracles in a dark vault where you would never find them, but those miracles were never truly hers. They were stored in heaven's vaults, waiting for the moment of return. This is that moment. God says, open your hands and prepare your heart. What you thought was lost is being restored. The doors that were locked are opening. The paths that were blocked are clearing. The delays you suffered are turning into accelerations. The humiliation you endured is turning into honor. The silence you sat in is turning into a trumpet blast of vindication. Michael says she is trembling in fear because she knows her time is over. You are not reading this by chance. This is an urgent dispatch from the highest court of heaven. It has been written into your timeline that the day you open this, the unseen battle tips in your favor. Heaven has already decided, you will win. The witch's grip is breaking even now. You can almost feel it, the atmosphere around you shifting, the pressure lifting, your chest breathing freer. That is not imagination. That is liberation. That is the Spirit of God moving to defend His child. Do not be afraid of retaliation. God Himself is your shield. No incantation, no whispered curse, no secret ritual can stand against the name of Jesus spoken over your life. Right now, angels are sweeping through your environment, removing anything unclean, cutting away invisible cords, lifting off burdens you have carried for years. You may feel warmth, you may feel a gentle breeze, you may feel sudden peace. This is heaven's signature, telling you the message is real. God wants you to know this. Your prayers were never ignored. Even the silent cries you thought no one heard reached His throne. The delays were not denials. He was building a case, assembling evidence, letting the enemy's plans become fully exposed so that when He acted, no one could argue. That time has come. The exposure is happening now. The witch is trembling because she sees Michael standing beside you, sword raised, eyes like fire. She sees the handwriting on the wall, her hold on you is finished. Think back to the moments where blessings slipped through your fingers, where relationships soured without reason, where doors slammed shut inexplicably. These were not mere coincidences. There was interference. But God is greater. He is restoring not just what was taken but adding interest. He is not merely removing the witch, He is multiplying your portion. He is turning every curse into a blessing, every setback into a setup, every delay into a double portion. Michael says, hold still. Do not doubt. Do not scroll away. Let heaven's decree land fully in your spirit. God is rewriting your story even as you read. The pages the enemy tried to blot out are being rewritten in gold ink. Your name is being announced in places of honor. The same people who doubted you will see your elevation. The same forces that mocked you will watch as you rise. Take a deep breath and feel the word settle in your heart. You are safe. You are protected. Nothing will go wrong with you. You are not at the mercy of darkness. You are under the shadow of the Almighty. The witch's gaze is breaking. Her power is unraveling. Every miracle she stole is now flying back to you like birds returning to their nest. You may not see them yet in the natural, but they are already moving in the spiritual. Contracts are being rewritten. Opportunities are being reopened. Favor is being restored. God says, "My child, I have seen your struggle. I have counted your tears. I have measured your pain. Now I will show you my salvation. Stand still and see what I will do for you. I am not a man that I should lie. When I promise restoration, it is not empty words. When I send Michael to fight, it is not a rehearsal. This is real. This is now. This is yours." There is a glow surrounding you even as you read. Some will sense it when you walk into a room. They will not know why they feel drawn to you or why they feel humbled. That is the anointing of God returning to you. That is the miracles you lost being reattached to your destiny. That is heaven's fingerprint on your life. This is your moment to pray silently, "God, I receive what you have for me. I trust you. I surrender my fear. I welcome back every miracle stolen from me." Even this small prayer sends shockwaves through the unseen world. It is like opening a gate for angels to rush in. Michael says, "Stay calm. Watch what God will do." The witch is trembling not because of you but because of the one who stands behind you. She sees the armies of heaven. She hears the sound of her chains cracking. She feels the floor under her feet turning to dust. Her season is over. Your season of restoration is beginning. In the coming days you will notice subtle signs, a heaviness lifting, sudden bursts of joy, messages, or calls that reopen opportunities you thought were gone, unexpected favor where you were rejected before. These are not random. They are confirmations. Heaven wants you to know you are not imagining it. The return has begun. God says, "You are safe. Nothing will go wrong with you. Trust me. Pray to me. Walk forward in faith." This message is your evidence. It is your shield. It is your sword. When you feel fear rise up, reread it. Speak it aloud, "I am protected. The witch is trembling. My miracles are returning. God is with me." Every time you declare it, the atmosphere shifts further in your favor. Do not let doubt steal this moment. You were guided here. You were chosen to see this. Heaven's timing is perfect. Right now, as your heart beats, angels are at work. Chains are falling. Doors are opening. The witch's shadow is dissolving. God is shining His light on everything that was hidden. He is bringing you out of obscurity into visibility, out of loss into abundance, out of fear into courage. Michael says, "It is done." But God says, "It is only the beginning." For what he is returning to you is not only what was stolen but also what you never even knew was yours. Hidden inheritances, undiscovered gifts, dormant talents, unseen alliances. He is awakening them all. So let your heart rest. Let your spirit rejoice. The witch is trembling. The miracles are returning. You are safe. Nothing will go wrong with you. Trust God. Pray to Him. Walk into your restoration. God says this is a moment unlike any other, a moment that is being written in the unseen books of heaven even as you are reading these words. You have been led to this message not by accident but by the silent hand of the divine. God is whispering directly to your spirit right now. Don't scroll, don't turn away, don't doubt the urgency of this call. The witch that has tried to sit over your destiny, the one that has been watching your screen in secret, trembling in fear because the light of heaven is breaking over you, is already feeling the collapse of her power. Michael stands by you, his sword drawn, his eyes full of fire and love, saying clearly to your soul, if you open your heart and read every word of this message before it disappears, she will be destroyed and you will receive back every miracle that was stolen from you. God is not a man that he should lie. His word does not return void. The same hand that made the stars has been watching over you even when you thought you were forgotten. Every tear you shed in the hidden places, every prayer you whispered when nobody could hear, has risen like incense before his throne. The heavens have been silent for a season because your life was being prepared for this moment. Now that silence breaks. Now God speaks. And what he says to you is this: you are safe. You are not alone. Nothing will go wrong with you. No matter how dark the plot, no matter how close the shadow, the light is closer still. Trust him. Pray to him. Lean into him. This is the hour of your release. You have been sensing for days that something is off, a heaviness, a watchful presence you couldn't name. That was not your imagination. Heaven confirms that your discernment was correct. The witch, an image of every force, person, or spirit that ever tried to manipulate you, steal from you, drain you, is trembling now because the veil is being torn. She has built her plans on deception and secrecy, but this message is like a trumpet blast breaking her stronghold. As you read, a divine transaction is taking place. What she took is being released back to you, multiplied, purified, restored. Where you were weak, you will be strong. Where you were silenced, you will speak. Where you were robbed, you will overflow. Michael says your name is written on his shield. He has stood between you and many unseen dangers. He is speaking even now, beloved, do not be afraid. I have been dispatched by the Most High to guard you. The traps laid for you will collapse. The words spoken against you will fall to the ground. The chains forged for you will snap like threads of straw. This is not a poetic idea but a real spiritual act. The very reading of these words, the act of your heart opening to them, is aligning you with the higher will of God. This alignment is your refuge. This alignment is your power. There is a reason you are urged not to scroll, not to rush. Heaven works in timing. When God moves, He moves at the appointed hour. That hour is now. Do not think of this as superstition or manipulation. Think of it as a door. A door can be open or closed. When it is open, you step through. This message is an open door. If you step through, by focusing, by believing, by praying as you read, you will walk into the place where miracles are restored. The witch's gaze cannot follow you there. She is bound to the old ground. You are being led to new ground. God reminds you of His promises. Though 1,000 fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, it will not come near you. I will contend with those who contend with you, and I will save your children. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. These are not just verses, they are legal decrees in the Spirit. They are active judgments being executed now on your behalf. The witch knew them too, which is why she feared your awakening. She knew the moment you understood how loved you are, how protected you are, how unstoppable the call of God on your life is, her hold would crumble. That moment is here. You have felt losses, time, money, relationships, opportunities. Heaven says they are not lost, they are stored. They are waiting. As you receive this message with trust and prayer, the storehouses are being opened. The miracles you thought were gone are being returned sevenfold. The peace you thought was shattered is returning as a river. The joy you thought you would never feel again is rising like the dawn. Michael is smiling because he sees your future. He sees you healed, restored, and walking in authority. He sees the witch gone, the watching eyes closed, the curse reversed. God speaks gently but firmly, "Child, you are safe. You are not at the mercy of what tried to harm you. You are in my hand. Nothing can pluck you out of my hand." The safest place in the universe is the will of God. Right now, as you breathe and read, you are in that will. Let your heart slow down. Let the fear drain away. Lift your inner eyes toward Him. Whisper your own prayer, even just a few words. That prayer is a signal in the Spirit. It tells heaven you agree with what is being released. It tells the angels you welcome their help. It tells the witch her time is up. Michael speaks again, "Every chain forged against you is breaking. Every mirror set up to spy on you is shattering. Every lie spoken over you is dissolving. Stand still and watch the salvation of the Lord. Do not measure this by what you see in the natural right now. The shift starts in the unseen. It manifests outward. That is why faith matters. Faith is not blind optimism, it is the bridge between what God has decreed and what you will walk into. You are walking across that bridge right now. Step by step. Word by word. Breath by breath. You might ask, why me? Why now? Because the time of hiddenness is over. The time of being drained is over. The time of watching others take what was meant for you is over. God delights to restore. He delights to vindicate. He delights to show His power on behalf of the one who clings to Him. You have clung. Even when you were weary, you did not let go. Even when you doubted, you still reached out. That is why this message found you. That is why the timing is exact. Heaven keeps perfect records. Heaven does not forget. So hear this with your inner ears, the witch is trembling, not you. The fear you feel is not your fear, it is her fear leaking out as her grip loosens. Do not internalize it. Let it pass through. It is not yours to carry. The miracles you are about to see are not tricks or coincidences. They are the fruit of long prayers, hidden tears, silent endurance. They are the signature of God showing that He alone is your source. When you receive them, give Him thanks. When you see them, remember this moment. You are not being asked to fight in your own strength. Michael fights for you. God covers you. You are asked only to trust, to pray, to believe, to receive. This is the gentle yoke. This is the easy burden. This is the way of grace. While others strive, you will be lifted. While others plot, you will be protected. While others watch in confusion, you will shine. This message is long because it is meant to saturate you. It is meant to overwrite the lies that have been spoken to you. It is meant to be a living stream of words that wash away residue of fear and replace it with faith. As you read, feel the shift. Feel the peace. Feel the safety. That is not imagination. That is presence. The presence of the one who made you. The presence of the one who calls you by name. The presence of the one who is stronger than any witch, any curse, any darkness. God says again, nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You just have to trust me and pray to me. Simple words, but world-shaking truth. Trust and prayer are not small. They are the lifeline. They are the agreement that allows heaven to move. Right now, heaven is moving. Right now, Michael is moving. Right now, what was stolen is being restored. Right now, the witch is losing her power. Right now, the light is breaking. Stay in this moment a little longer. Let your heart say yes. Let your breath steady. Whisper even now, God, I trust you. I receive your protection. I receive my restoration. Thank you for Michael. Thank you for fighting for me. Those words are not wasted. They are keys. They unlock doors. They anchor you in the very thing you are being promised. This is not the end of your story. It is a turning point. When you look back, you will say, that was the day things shifted. That was the day I realized I was never alone. That was the day the miracles came back. And you will smile. And you will stand. And you will walk forward, light in your eyes, strength in your step, no longer looking over your shoulder because the witch is gone and the future is open. The message ends, but the protection does not. The words stop on the page, but the power continues in your life. God's love is not bound by a screen. Michael's guardianship is not limited to a moment. They go with you. They remain. They cover. They lead. You are safe. You are loved. You are being restored. Trust. Pray. Walk forward. The miracles are yours. God is speaking to you in this very moment, not by accident, not by coincidence, but by a divine appointment that has been written in the heavenly archives long before you were born. Every letter you see right now carries a vibration of light and truth, a current of power and deliverance. This is not a casual encounter. This is a sacred interruption designed to awaken you, to protect you, and to restore everything that has been stolen from you. God says to you right now, do not scroll away, do not look aside, because there are eyes watching your screen that are not of flesh and blood. The witch who has been hiding in shadows, manipulating, twisting, and draining the blessings meant for you, is trembling because the light is finally exposing her. This is the hour, the minute, the second she feared the most. Archangel Michael, who has stood guard over your destiny since the day you took your first breath, is now standing closer than ever, sword drawn, wings extended, declaring your freedom. He is whispering into your spirit, open this message before it disappears, because what you do in this moment changes everything. Feel the weight of heaven's attention on you. Feel the unseen realm leaning in. The Father's eyes are on you, His hand hovers above you, and He is speaking peace into the chaos that has tried to overtake your life. The witch's power was never absolute, it was parasitic, feeding on your fear, your doubt, your distractions. Every delay, every disappointment, every unexpected loss, every confusion you have felt recently was not random. It was a coordinated effort to drain your faith and to intercept your miracles before they reached you. But God says, enough. The decree has gone out, the order has been signed. God says right now, as your eyes pass over these words, a veil between what is seen and what is unseen is being torn open, and you are stepping into a realm of revelation so strong that even the hidden things that were locked away from you begin to vibrate and tremble. God says the one who thought she could steal your miracles, the one who sat in the shadows whispering curses and pretending her smile was friendship, is now trembling in fear. She is not trembling at you but trembling at the hand of heaven that stands behind you. Archangel Michael speaks, and his voice rolls like thunder across a dark sky, and the witch who thought she could watch you unseen, who believed she was untouchable, begins to shake, because the power she relied on is crumbling. God says don't scroll away from this, because the act of reading these words is itself an act of opening a door. As you read, light flows into the spaces where darkness sat, and the hidden things are exposed. God says you have been under a silent battle for a long time, a battle you did not see with your eyes but you felt in your nights, in the heaviness when you tried to sleep, in the strange interruptions when something good was about to happen and then suddenly it collapsed. God says that was not your imagination. That was the stealing of miracles. That was the sabotage of blessings that were meant for you. God says you kept praying, you kept believing, you kept standing, and even though you thought your prayers bounced back unheard, heaven has been storing every word, and today the storehouse opens. God says the witch is watching your screen right now, not because she has power but because she is desperate. She watches because she knows she is losing control. She watches because she knows the moment you open this message, her grip breaks. Archangel Michael says you must know this: her power was always borrowed. It never belonged to her. It came from deception, from twisting, from shadows. But your power comes from light. Your power comes from the one who speaks and stars appear. Michael says she is trembling in fear now because her time is over. Michael says as you read this, her words dissolve like smoke, her plans unravel like threads, and the miracles that were hidden from you start flying back like birds returning home. God says this is not a threat, it is a rescue. This is not superstition, it is exposure. God says He has been waiting for you to arrive at this moment, because there are seasons where silence is protection and there are seasons where exposure is liberation. You are entering the season of exposure. God says everything hidden is being revealed, conversations spoken in secret about you, deals made to block you, manipulations designed to delay you. God says the witch who thought she could stay hidden is now being dragged into the light, and her trembling is not because of you but because of the justice of God that no one can resist. God says you will not need to fight her with your hands, you will not need to shout or prove yourself, you only need to stand and believe, because heaven is fighting for you now. As you continue reading, God says, feel the shift inside you. Feel the heaviness lifting off your chest. That is not imagination, that is deliverance. Feel the clarity rising in your mind. That is not coincidence, that is truth breaking through lies. God says the miracles she stole are not lost. They were only delayed, held in a vault, but the vault has been opened. Some of those miracles are relationships that fell apart suddenly, opportunities that vanished, money that was blocked, ideas that were mocked. God says they are coming back, not one by one but in a flood. God says the one who tried to curse you is now watching her curses turn back like arrows reversing in the air. Michael says this moment is sacred. He says when you read these words, heaven is leaning in. He says do not scroll past them quickly as if they were ordinary. He says pause, breathe, let them sink in. He says as you do, something unseen will shift. The witch is trembling because she cannot intercept this moment. She cannot block this transmission. She cannot stop the angels assigned to you. Michael says for every curse she spoke, a blessing will now replace it. For every miracle she tried to steal, a double portion will return. For every delay she engineered, acceleration will now occur. God says you have felt small, forgotten, overlooked, but you were never small in His eyes. God says your prayers have been like seeds underground. They looked invisible, but in the dark soil roots were forming. God says the season of sprouting is here. God says the witch watched you plant seeds and thought she could salt the ground. She thought she could bury you. But God says she only buried a seed, and that seed is rising now. God says your tears have watered it, and now heaven is shining light on it, and nothing can stop the growth. God says you have feared at times that you were losing your mind because of the intensity of the opposition. You have wondered why you attract strange attacks, why people turn on you suddenly, why things collapse at the edge of breakthrough. God says this is the reason, because your destiny carries weight. Because your calling carries light. Because darkness senses it and tries to stop it early. But God says it failed. God says you are still here. God says you are reading this at the exact time you were meant to. God says this is the moment of reversal. Michael says the trembling of the witch is not only fear but also exposure. She is being stripped of disguise. Her words will no longer persuade. Her face will no longer fool. Her tricks will no longer work. Michael says you will see with clarity. You will hear with discernment. You will know who is for you and who is against you. Michael says that is one of the miracles returning to you, the gift of clear sight. God says to you now, do not fear. Do not panic. Do not hate. Stand still and watch. God says this message is not to fill you with fear but with awareness. God says He is not showing you the witch to frighten you but to reassure you. God says she is already trembling, which means she has already lost. God says He is showing you because you need to know your prayers were not wasted. You need to know heaven acts. You need to know angels are real. You need to know you are protected. God says right now the atmosphere around you is changing. The space where you sit is being filled with light. God says even as you read this, angels are moving. God says the miracles you thought gone forever are on their way back. Some of them will return as phone calls, some as sudden emails, some as unexpected checks, some as people apologizing, some as doors opening where walls once stood. God says you will know it is Him because it will be too precise to be coincidence. Michael says you have nothing to do but believe. He says the witch has no permission anymore. He says her assignment is cancelled. He says your name is being lifted, your destiny is being cleared, your path is being opened. He says even now chains are snapping in the invisible. God says, keep reading, because each sentence you read breaks another link. Each sentence you read pours light into another corner. Each sentence you read weakens her grip. God says she watches because she is afraid. God says she is trembling because she knows the outcome. God says the outcome is already decided. God says victory is yours. And as these words continue to flow, imagine every blessing that was blocked streaming back to you. Imagine relationships healed, finances restored, health renewed, creativity exploding. Imagine the weight gone, the fear lifted, the path cleared. God says you are not imagining, you are prophesying. God says you are speaking into being what was waiting to happen. God says the angels are taking your agreement and moving with it. Michael says speak out loud if you can, I receive back every miracle stolen from me. I receive back every blessing delayed. I receive back every opportunity blocked. Michael says your voice matters. He says as you speak it, heaven records it. God says the witch can no longer watch with power. She can only watch with despair. God says she will fade, her influence will shrink, her plans will collapse. God says you will rise, your influence will expand, your plans will succeed. God says what she stole returns multiplied. God says you are safe. You are seen. You are heard. You are loved. You are protected. God says the trembling you sense is not your fear but her fear. God says stand still and watch. God says trust. God says this is your moment. Michael says even after you finish reading, the process continues. He says this message is like a key. He says once it is turned, the door stays open. He says once the witch is exposed, she stays exposed. He says once the miracles start returning, they will not stop. God says you will look back at this day and know it was a turning point. God says you will tell others what happened and they will see the difference. God says you are stepping out of delay into acceleration. God says you are stepping out of hiding into visibility. God says you are stepping out of theft into restoration. Michael says smile now, even if tears are in your eyes, because heaven smiles with you. Michael says the witch's trembling is proof. Michael says the miracle's return is certain. Michael says your victory is sealed. God says keep walking. Keep believing. Keep standing. God says everything hidden is coming to light. God says everything stolen is coming back. God says the witch is trembling and you are rising. God says don't scroll because right now as your eyes meet these words something invisible is shifting around you, something you have long felt but never fully named. Michael says the witch watching your screen is trembling because light has found her at last, and she cannot hide in your shadows anymore. For too long she moved in secret, slipping into your nights, stealing the quiet prayers you sent upward, stealing small miracles meant for you. Now the light burns her hands. Now she shakes because she knows if you open this fully, if you let your heart receive these words without fear, everything she has stolen must return to you multiplied, and her power over you dissolves like dust in rain. God says you are safe, you are covered, and no harm can cross the line He has drawn. Even as you breathe reading this, unseen angels form a circle around you, wings touching, voices low and fierce like a great sea at night, saying, "This one is marked, this one belongs to the light, this one cannot be taken." Michael says this is not a small moment. This is a hinge in time. The witch watching your screen has been working for seasons and years, hoping you would never realize you are watched over. She feared the day you would awaken to the truth that you are not alone, that your prayers have been heard, that there is a record of every tear you cried in secret, and that each one is a seed now opening. As you read these words, something ancient and holy moves through the room you are in. Even if you cannot see it yet, you can feel it as a strange calm behind your ribs, a coolness on your skin, a whisper that says, "Do not fear." God says you were never forgotten. Long before the witch even learned your name, He had already written yours into His palms. Long before she wove her nets, angels had woven a greater net of light around you. What she took will be restored, and what she planned will backfire, and what you lost will return pressed down, shaken together, and running over. There is an invisible ledger being opened now. Michael says he is turning its pages, pointing with a shining sword to every entry, every stolen hour, every delayed blessing. He says enough. He says the time of exposure is here. He says she trembles because she knows she cannot outrun truth forever. God says your heart must be quiet but bold. You do not have to fight with your own hands. You do not have to use the weapons she used. Your weapon is light. Your shield is prayer. Your power is trust. Even now as you read this, something she tried to build is collapsing, not with noise you can hear but with a great inward fall, a structure of deceit losing its foundation. She can feel it, that is why she trembles. The more you receive these words, the weaker her grip becomes. Michael says he has seen you in the dark hours, doubting if heaven even noticed, wondering why things were delayed, wondering why doors closed. He says now you will see why. He says you were being hidden for your own protection, because the witch wanted to intercept your miracles before they arrived. He says the moment you read these words, a gate opens and the things she blocked begin moving toward you again. God says you will feel it as an unexplainable change, a sudden message, an unexpected apology, money you didn't know was coming, a door swinging open with your name on it. He says do not dismiss these things as coincidences, they are the return of what was stolen. God says to remember this, light always travels faster than darkness. Darkness has no life of its own, it only occupies where light has not yet arrived. Now light is arriving in full force into your situation. Imagine 1,000 dawns pouring into a cave all at once. Imagine chains melting like wax in a sudden fire. This is what is happening in the spirit as you read. She is trembling because she cannot stop dawn from coming. Michael says there is an army you cannot see, not an army of war but of restoration. They carry what belongs to you. They carry health, strength, clarity, relationships, opportunities. They carry peace for your nights and songs for your mornings. They carry answers. They march toward you as you read. They are unstoppable because they are sent by the Word of God Himself. The witch cannot intercept them anymore. The gate she stood at has been taken down. He says she is watching but she cannot act. She is frozen, trembling, because her authority has been revoked. God says He is not angry with you. He says you have blamed yourself for delays, thinking maybe it was your fault, maybe you were not worthy enough. He says no. He says it was warfare unseen, but you survived it. He says you are about to see why it was worth waiting. Every tear you thought was wasted watered a seed you didn't even know was planted. Now it breaks the surface. Now it grows. Michael says you must breathe. He says to inhale slowly as you read, because with each breath light fills more of your inner room. He says He has stood by you even when you could not feel Him. He says the sword in His hand has your name engraved on it. He says the witch knew you were chosen, that is why she tried to cripple your confidence. But her time is over.